It's vaccine season right now. Just turn on television and you'll see tons of commercials for vaccines, primarily COVID-19 and flu. In fact, Big Pharma's gotten together and said, let's do this. Let's put the two together and give it in one shot. Yeah, give it in one shot. Just a year ago, Big Pharma generated in revenue $90 billion for a COVID-19 shot. $3 billion for flu shots. Big Pharma does the sales of pharmaceuticals in the United States in 2023 was $714 billion. Over $600 billion US dollars more than the second ranked country, which was China. We primarily make up 44% of Big Pharma's revenue worldwide. 44. The next in line is China with 7%, and Japan with 4%, Germany 4%, France 2.9%, Italy 2.6%, United Kingdom 2.4%, Spain 2%, Brazil 2%, and Canada 1.9%. They've created a market of sickness in our country to make big bucks. And they're doing a heck of a job of it. Now, recently I've been referring to a Dr. Benjamin Bickman's book, Why We Get Sick. And I'm going to share a segment with you again because, again, it's vaccine season. We're only a couple months away from our first major holiday, which is Thanksgiving. I want you really to ponder on that thought. Thanksgiving, first major holiday. What do we do differently then? We eat worse. Primarily the consumption of higher carbohydrate foods. Americans are bad enough as it is. But the holidays just give them free range of any junk food they want to stick in their mouth and make themselves sicker. But you know what? Let's give them a shot. Shots work. Give them a shot. According to Dr. Bickman, insulin resistance is the epidemic that you may have never heard of. Though many of us are unfamiliar with it, our unawareness belies how common it really is. Half of U.S. adults and roughly 1 in 3 Americans are known to have it. However, this number could be as high as 88%. Think about that now. 88%. 9 out of 10 people are resistant to insulin. And did you know that insulin resistance could occur also in the immune system? And that the immune system are becoming insulin resistant themselves, leading to weakened overall effector function? And did you realize the fuel for a sickened immune system is sugar? Yeah. Sugar, carbohydrates. Because I don't care what the sugar comes from, carbohydrates are all sugar except for fiber. The body breaks it down into glucose. And one of the things that sugar does, or glucose, is very similar to vitamin C in structure. In fact, vitamin C in animals is made from glucose. In animals, not us. We don't make it from glucose. So we have to get it in our diet. That's why vitamin C is an essential nutrient. But structurally, it's very similar to glucose. And it shares what we call the GLUT1 receptor for uptake by the white blood cells. Literally, it's the doorway that lets energy into the white blood cells. So structurally, glucose and vitamin C are the same or look very similar. But Americans consume so much carbohydrates in the diet. You have this constant competition between vitamin C and glucose, carbohydrates, for uptake into the white blood cells. And one of the things that sugar, glucose, does to white blood cells is makes them behave like they're drunk. They get sluggish. They can't find their way. So it's harder for the immune system function, the immune system, when we take in too much carbohydrates. Everything starts to shut down. So subsequently, we get sick easier. Now, when you look at insulin resistance, it occurs in 88% of the population, almost 9 out of 10 people. No wonder Big Pharma is making so much money this time of year particularly. And why they push it so hard and heavy. So the way to change this is change your attitude towards food first. There is no shot that's 100% effective in fighting the disease. But when it comes to nutrition, your body's own mechanisms of immunity boost way up to fight off sickness. Here's one for you, because this is what they call cold and flu season. Can the keto diet, this is from Medical News Today, help beat the flu? The results of a new study in mice suggest that the body may be able to defeat the influenza virus if a person has the right sort of diet, a ketogenic or keto diet. That's low carb. Infection with the influenza virus, better known as the flu, has accounted for 12,000 to 61,000 deaths every year since 2010 in the United States. In the U.S., 61,000. With an economic burden of $87.1 billion. The introduction of flu vaccine has greatly improved infection and morbidity rates. However, there is still currently no cure for the illness. Healthcare professionals and scientists alike are continuing to search for novel therapeutics to combat the flu. Yet the key may lie within the body's own immune system. Moreover, it may be activated by the low-carb diet. The following ketogenic diet involves eating foods that are high in fat and low in carbohydrates. Meals tend to consist of a variety of meat, which is vilified, fish, poultry, and non-starchy vegetables. In other words, things with eyes. I added that, by the way. According to the findings of a new study appearing in the journal Science Immunology, when mice were fed a low-carb keto diet or injected with the flu virus, their survival rates were much higher than those of mice fed a diet high in carbohydrates. Now, put that in perspective. Holiday season, higher intake of junk, particularly sweets. Look at the little kids. They love candy. They love cakes and cookies. The main reason for this, the researchers believe, the keto diet blocks the formation of inflammasomes, which are a multi-unit protein complex that the immune system activates. Inflammasomes can also cause harmful immune system responses in the host. This triggers a release of gamma delta T cells. Gamma delta T cells are responsible for producing mucus in the lining of the lungs, which helps the body get rid of infectious agents. The mucus then wrapped up in the airways and coughed out. The Joint Center authors of the study, said this just the other day. The objective of the study was to determine how the keto diets affect host defense against lethal flu virus infection. The team found that keto diet feeding confers protection against the flu virus in mice by increasing the number of gamma delta T airways. And it goes on and on. And the keto diet is low carb. And again, here's the sugar aspect of it. Sugar competes with vitamin C. That's carbohydrates. And studies have shown that just a small consumption of carbohydrates, put it this way, 75 grams. That's like a can of Coke and a couple cookies. can shut the immune system off for hours, 5, 10, 15, 20 hours or more, where it doesn't function properly, which exposes you to sickness, particularly this time of year when these critters are running around. So your immune system is dependent on you, not a shot. And there's no vaccine, like it says, that's going to cure. No shot. It creates a fake environment when you get these shots. It helps to increase the antibodies against that infection. Well, why don't we do this? Let's get our own antibodies to work against the infection. Let's boost them naturally. Now, one of the things you can do to help yourself out is to make lifestyle changes. To make lifestyle changes requires you to do a couple different things. One, change your diet, exercise, and be accountable. Again, we're talking about the immune system. Dr. Scott Mitchell, my good friend, is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, talk about vaccines. You'd be shocked by some of this stuff that he has to share. How sugar steals your vitamin C. This is by Easy Health Options, Healthy Living. In order to effectively use the antioxidant-powered vitamin C to combat oxidative stress, our white blood cells need as much as 50 times more vitamin C within its cell walls than in the surrounding blood plasma. Our respiratory tract is especially full of white blood cells called macrophages that protects against germs we breathe in, and their action is dependent upon vitamin C. Vitamin C is also important in the body's protection of interferons, substances that support communication between cells and keep viruses from replicating once they are inside the cell. Listen to this. Vitamin C and sugar are in competition for entry into our cells. In the 1970s, researchers found that sugar and vitamin C enter our cells using the same pathways, known as the GLUT1 receptors. That makes sense since animals that manufacture vitamin C in their bodies use glucose to do so. We don't make that. GLT1 receptors prefer glucose over vitamin C. That means when you're given the chance, they'll always choose sugar over vitamin C. Not only that, but consuming too much sugar can result in even more free radicals, which would require even more vitamin C to neutralize them. But sugar blocks the entry of vitamin C into your system. Sugar gets there first and attaches to those receptors, leaving little or no entry point for vitamin C. So you could be taking tons of vitamin C. You could be giving your kids vitamin C, moms and dads out there, or grandparents. But if you're feeding them junk, it's defeating the purpose. Because sugar's going to get in there quick, first. No wonder little kids always have runny noses or ear infections. Because you're feeding the sick. Now, I know you're not deliberately doing this. No one is saying that. No one is saying that you're deliberately feeding your little kids to get them sick. Don't take it wrong. All right? We don't want parents to do that. You just don't know. But now you're going to know. So instead of feeding them the stuff that makes them sick, feed them healthy stuff. Make deviled eggs or something. Take some almond butter, put it on a celery stick. Make it taste yummy. There's all kinds of things you fix that kids like. So we're going to go next to my good friend, Dr. Scott Mitchell, and talk about vaccines, the immune system. It's that time of year, Scott. September through October is the time of the year when they're pushing these vaccine shots. They're all over TV. Every commercial, see, there's either a COVID-19 commercial, there's some flu commercial. I mean, it's big time. So people are going to run in there like a bunch of sheepies, okay, and get the shots, okay, instead of paying more attention to what these vaccines do and the objective of the Big Pharma to make money off of us.
Yeah, you there, Lance?
I sure am, Scott. Go ahead.
I might have to call you back. I'm getting really bad. So can you hear me, bud?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, somewhat. It's all beat up, but we're good.
You want to call at the bottom of the hour? We'll take a break and come back to you then? Want to try that?
Yeah, let's do that. Let me see if I can call back at a better.
All right, hang on. Okay, all right, go ahead. He'll come back to it. Okay. Anyhow, we're talking to the immune system. Dr. Mitchell is going to join us after the break at the bottom of the hour. And we look at this in general. We look at exercise too. How does exercise boost immunity? How does that work? Because most people, Americans, we're lazy. We're lazy. Here's how it works. 6 ways that exercise improves the immune system. Exercise stimulates cellular immunity. According to 2019 research, moderate intensity exercise can stimulate cellular immunity by increasing the circulation of immune cells in your body. This helps your body better prepare for a future infection by detecting it earlier. Researchers found that performing aerobic exercise or any exercise at a moderate to vigorous intensity for less than 60 minutes increases the recruitment and circulation of immune system's best defensive cells. These findings indicate that exercise can enhance immune defense activity by making you more resistant to infection and better equipped to deal with infectious agents that have already gained traction in your body. Can we go to him now? Is that possible? Or wait till the break. Okay, Scott Mitchell, Dr. Mitchell's back with Hi, Doc. How are you doing?
Good. I'm here.
Okay.
We're going to do this now?
Yeah, let's do it now if you want. Okay.
Yeah. So, thanks for talking about this, Lance. In chiropractic, we hammer this a lot because we really actually want our patients to be healthy. And getting some of these injections and vaccines is the complete opposite of staying and being healthy. And there's a lot of biased research when it comes to these vaccines because they want them in everybody. And it's kind of interesting that there's a great book called Professions of an RX pusher, like a drug pusher. So she was a pharmaceutical rep. And interesting enough that some of these pharmaceutical companies will not allow their own employees to get a flu shot.
You're kidding me.
Because they know they're going to be sicker by getting a flu shot than they are.
So really?
Yes. Because they get you know how they make the shot. Everybody does. They go in Southeast Asia last February, like, oh, this is a flu shot. This is a flu that's going to get America. So let's start pumping out these vaccines. And I like X's and O's, right? But so when they inject this flu shot into you, this vaccine, so like now your body's geared up toward this particular strand, which they get wrong every year. And then now your body's geared up to fight this particular strand. But then when the real flu virus comes in, your immune system is shut down because it's looking for the vaccine that they get, but it's not looking for the actual flu that's actually getting us right now. So then your immune system's shut down, and it can't recognize the flu virus because it's not looking for it. Whereas if you get a natural immune response to it, or you have tonsils, then your body knows it can recognize it, and then it can fight it right away. And it's never a cold and flu season, so lack of vitamin D. So we need to make sure we're getting our vitamin D, like you said, getting exercise, keeping low on sugar, just keeping your immune system right. And if you have a robust immune system, the chances of you getting really ill are not very good, and you'll just fight it off like normal. And we talk about the RSV vaccine. It's kind of funny. I ran into the grocery store yesterday, and
absolutely,
like the RSV vaccine that they're pushing right now, like you're never going to have a natural immune system to the RSV vaccine or the RSV virus if you get a vaccine, because it's not a virus that goes into your bloodstream. It goes through your lungs. And so that what they do with vaccines, they inject it right into your bloodstream. So you never can actually develop a natural immunity to this. And then, like we were talking yesterday, that they want the grandparents of these children to get it. Mm-hmm. Well, now they're like silent carriers of this virus because they might have it. They may not have symptoms, or they may have symptoms, but most of the time they don't, and they're carrying the virus, So it's just pretty much a good moneymaker and keep people sick. And that's what we don't want. And we want people to have a good, robust, natural immune system. And, we can't say in chiropractic that by getting adjusted, your immune system is going to be better, but we know biologically that it will, because you're going to be less stressed out. Your body's going to be working better. You'll be able to stay more active and less stressed, because we definitely know that, like, if you're stressed out, it suppresses your immune system. And that's one thing we're excellent about, is helping people deal with stress.
Well, because again, it's funny that I ran in the store yesterday because you were coming on as a guest today. But all you got to do is look at the store, go in a grocery store, you'll see that feed sickness. The way it's set up, almost every aisle is nothing but processed junk food. Okay, high processed carbohydrate foods that are in packages that feed sickness that the pharmacist or Big Pharma makes money off of. And this time of year, it's cold and flu season and COVID, and so we're making big bucks off of it. So let's keep feeding us the same junk.
Yeah, and I really feel bad for the people still thinking the COVID vaccine's effective and safe, and there's so much research out there that they're not telling us about how ineffective and how actually this is causing heart problems in people and young children. It's just to me, it's just really sad and scary that they're still pushing these vaccines that have never really been tested for safety. By the way, they never test the flu shot. They never test any of the other vaccines for safety. Mm-hmm. and they just say it's safe because everybody got hurt in the study.
Well, Big Pharma, most of their money's made in this country. 44% of their revenue is made in the United States, in the U.S.
And Venezuela, because us and them are the only countries that are allowed to have pharmaceutical ads on TV so they can go directly to the consumer. Ask your doctor about this drug, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's how they do it. So it's a really good book, actually. I just started reading, talking about a lot of this. It's a good book called Good Energy. And it really is telling us how to have good energy. And that's really what it comes down to, is just being robust and having a strong immune system, having a strong body. So that way we can fight off a lot of this. And it's really disheartening. And, we say even the rats jump off a sinking ship. And that's kind of what's happening to our medical system. It's collapsing, sadly, but it's kind of a good thing at the same time, because we don't have a healthcare system. We have a very sick care system, and a lot of people are.
Yeah, and it's getting worse too, because there's also been an increase in morbid obesity. It's going up. Obesity in general is not, but morbid obesity is, which means that the obese people are getting fatter.
Yep.
And there we go.
They talk about that in that Good Energy book. Those people, I mean, it's sad, but those people were kind of like sideshows at the circus.
Yeah, I know.
100 years ago.
Really sad.
You would never see that 100 years ago. Now it's like, 74% of our population is obese.
Yeah.
Children are obese. It's really sad. And we're just really heading in the wrong direction. Like, most kids can't even serve in the military.
I know. It's terrible.
Unfortunately, if we go to war, you and I are going to be at it, because we're the only
I'm not going to fight a war.
to fight.
You're too damn old. All right, maybe you can go. No, I won't want you to go, because I need to see you once a month to keep my body working. Welcome back to the show, The Good Life. This is Dr. Fitness Lance Dreher, and we're talking about boosting the immune system. And one of the things you can do to boost the immune system is take berberine, not berberine, berberine. It's a formulation I was involved in developing with Nootropics Depot. It's on the market now. So if you're looking to burn body fat, pick up the metabolism. Okay, it has a number of key ingredients in it to help do that. One is curcumin, but it's a different form, curcusin, which helps to really take down inflammation. It has saffron in it, it has black ginger, increases serotonin, all these different things that work with not only the immune system, but emotional eating, because we know that 75% of people that have weight issues are emotional eaters. So if you can curb the appetite by controlling emotion, okay, and use berberine, okay, in a phytosome form, then you get better absorption of it. And we know berberine works better, okay, than Ozempic, because it helps to increase the GLP-1 amounts, okay, not just take and mimic it in the body. So it takes and curbs the appetite. All right, makes you feel full. Okay, so you're not picking up food you shouldn't eat. If you're interested in this product, again, I was involved in formulation of it. It's that effective. It's that great. It's available now. You can go to berberine.com. Berberine is BERBELEAN.com. BERBELEAN.com. And you can go into a promo code, enter 10NEW, new, and get yourself a discount on it. Okay, again, it's berberine.com, BERBELEAN. It's going to take you to Nootropic Depot's store and get it there. Stuff's that good. It really is. All right, anyhow, more on exercise and how it affects the immune system. You can't get around how helpful exercise when it comes to keeping you healthy. Here's another one. We talked about exercise stimulates cellular immunity. It raises body temperature. Unless you're moving at a snail's pace, your body temperature will increase during most forms of exercise, and you will stay elevated for a short time after you complete your workout. That's why we sweat. Why is this significant? It is commonly held belief that this brief rise in body temperature, both during and after exercise, may prevent bacteria from growing and help your body better address an infection similarly to how a fever works. Still, it's important to note that this claim lacks evidence base. I can tell you over years of experience, I never get colds. While this temperature rise is not as significant as an increase you experience with a fever, it still may be beneficial to your immune system. It also helps you sleep better. Exercise also decreases risk of heart disease, diabetes, and other diseases. It also decreases stress and other conditions such as depression. We know it's one of the best antidepressants on the market. And all you need is about 15, 20 minutes. Exercise reduces inflammation. Inflammation is a normal immune response that the body uses to address pathogens or toxins. Acute inflammation isn't necessarily a problem, but when the acute response remains uncontrolled, it can become chronic and potentially lead to a host of inflammatory diseases. Research has shown that exercise can reduce inflammation and keep the immune response in check, but exercise intensity matters. Studies suggest that moderate intensity exercise reduces inflammation, while prolonged bouts of high intensity exercise can increase inflammation, which means you long distance runners, people like that. So if you're looking to help the immune system, you need to exercise. It works a lot like diet. So you combine the two together, low carb eating and exercise 2 or 3 days a week. You've got it, baby. You've got it. Because now we're going into the cold flu season. What's cheaper? To stay healthy or spend time in the doctor's office? You get another prescription or another vaccine when it's called diet control and exercise so you don't get sick as often. I'm not telling you not to take your vaccines, believe me. I'm not going to do that. I'm just telling you, if your body's healthier, you fight off infection easier. And if you do get sick, you get well quicker. And most of the seniors out there, we're not doing that. I went the other day to pick up I take thyroid medication. And the gal who was checking me out, they know me there, started asking me all these questions. Have you had your COVID-19 shot? No. Do you plan on getting it? No. Have you had your flu shot? No. Do you plan on getting it? I said, no. Have you had your shingles shot? I said, no. Do you plan on getting it? No. Do you plan on getting any shots? I go, no. I'm not interested. But who told her to do that? The store told her to do that. The pharmaceutical companies told them to do that as well. Because every time they give you a poke, they make money. They don't give you a poke, they don't make any money. And like I said, COVID-19 vaccine made $90 billion a year ago. $90 billion. $90 billion. So they're pushing COVID vaccines for everybody, including little kids now. And best immunity to sickness is your own immune system. That's why God gave it to us. But when we're doing things that are self-destructive to the immune system, like over-consuming carbohydrates, which compete with vitamin C, which we do not make, you have to get that from your diet. The sugars used by the white blood cells instead of using vitamin C, which molecularly are very similar. And so the white blood cells act like they're drunk. They can't fight off sickness that easily. They're not performing properly. So if you're taking vitamin C thinking you're protecting your immune system and you're eating lots of carbohydrates, not a lot of them either. You're looking at 75 grams. The average American takes in probably 300 to 400 a day. It shuts off the immune system for hours. So if you're exposed to some virus or some bacteria or fungal, whatever, the chance of you getting sick increases. Have your own immunity to stuff. Instead of walking around paranoid, well, I just ate myself 3 or 4 cookies and I better watch it real quick. Put my mask on. No. Stop eating that junk. We're talking about the immune system and what you need to do to boost the immune system. And it's just 15 minutes of exercise can boost your immune system. Here's how. This is from Healthline. It says here, new research has found that just 15 minutes of exercise can boost your immune function. The findings, which are being presented at the American Physiology Summit in Long Beach, California, discovered that short bursts of physical activity increase the production of natural killer cells, which are a type of white blood cell that fights infected and cancerous cells in the body. This isn't the first study to link exercise to higher levels of natural killer cells in bloodstream. Plus, the number of natural killer cells appears to increase mere minutes after engaging in physical activity. The researchers say the new findings add to the growing pile of evidence that targeting natural killer cells may provide better protection against infections and diseases. These new studies suggest that shorter bouts of exercise are enough to activate the immune system and increase the body's natural killer cells in blood circulation, says Michael Fredrickson, MD, a professor of medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation at Stanford Medicine. Says the small study involved participants between the age of 18 and 40. Each participant was instructed to ride a stationary bicycle for 30 minutes at a moderate level. The researchers drew blood samples from the participants before they started cycling, and again 15 to 30 minutes later. They found that natural levels of natural killer cells increased after 15 minutes of cycling, but did not continue to increase after 30 minutes of activity. Now, I've been saying this for years on my show, how you don't do more than 30 minutes of exercise. That's what our program is around. I've been preaching this for 30 plus years or more. So if you're one of those people who are out there spending an hour and a half, 2 hours of moderate to high intensity exercise, you're wasting your time. You're affecting the immune system. It shuts off. No more than 30. You want to leave the gym energized, not all beat up. 15 to 30 minutes. That's all you need. You say, well, that's not a lot. It is a lot of exercise if you do it the right way. Our system, you go from upper body to lower body, no rest. Elevates the heart rate. It increases circulation. You feel great when you're done. It neutralizes acid, so you have little or no soreness at all. And that's one of the people who come in to see us who haven't exercised in many, many years, and we deal again with older people. They make the comment, I didn't have any soreness. And I smile at them. I know. You're neutralizing those acids that are produced during metabolism, during movement, by increasing circulation, oxygenated, nutrient-rich blood. So you're not sore. 15 to 30, that's it. 2 or 3 days a week, that's all you need. You don't need to beat your body up. Plus, 15 to 30 minutes is time manageable.